as you come into this class today to open your heart. Maybe it feels a little closed, maybe it feels a little hardened, maybe you feel a little tired. I just want you to come in with an open heart and also an open mind. And maybe close your eyes to start with here. Maybe some of you, I love it. Your hands just naturally kind of come to your heart center in that prayer position. Maybe your hands are more in that mountain pose down beside you in that receiving place. And just kind of transfer the weight between your toes and your heels. We're literally settling just in. We're going to go through classic willpower today, just flowing between movement. Good morning, Alex, Amy, Cameron, Arlene, Kathy, Lori, Lorraine, Becky, Kristen, Sarah, Papa Pete, Arena, Wendy, Krista, Becky, Kelly, Mary, Tracy, Lynn. Yes, it's that good. Blair, Jean, Linda, Melinda, Alicia, Amanda, Lenny, Miley, Tina. Yes, Erin, Pam. What a good, it's average, Sarah. So I don't know how you get part of a person. I think it's because when it's an odd number and we divide it by 4 weeks, there is no half of check-in. I love that. That is too funny. All right, now maybe open your eyes. Take a couple of breaths. We'll continue just a couple more times, back and forth. And today I want to talk about a topic I'm sure you've all thought of or heard in different ways, and kind of that thought of planting a seed. And sometimes we plant a seed and we really tend to it and water it and take care of it and watch it. And then other times we plant different seeds and kind of step away or not realize exactly what is growing, what fruit is bearing, or maybe it might not even be something that you don't see the full beauty of that seed growing, but you started it, you planted it. So, all right, hold it up here. One question I want to start kicking class off with, okay, you're on your tippy toes. And this was asked in our Connect meeting on Thursday, and it was such a powerful, so some of you actually are here and answered it in that meeting. But what is something you've learned about yourself? And we're not going to share it here. I want you to you can share it if you want, but more so keep it for yourself. What is something you've learned? I'm going to go with about yourself over the past 2 years. And yes, that is obviously kind of the length of the pandemic, but I firmly, and I've said this all along, we have this opportunity right now to grow and to become better versions of ourselves. It's uncomfortable. That journey is very uncomfortable. It can be scary. It can feel like you're going downwards and then upwards and then up and down. And so what is something you've learned about yourself in the last couple of years? One more time. Maybe it's a word. The word that came to me this morning was perseverance. And that happened to be one of our team names too. But so maybe it's a word for yourself. Maybe it's something, a little mantra or something, a lesson. And just take that as we flow through. I'm going to tell a little story that I talked about a little bit over the week. Lift and lower. Lift and lower, just stretching our feet, being grateful to be here. I love Liz's camping this week. Good morning, Cassie. But she talked about like every day, her mindset, this is such a good one. Just get my 2 feet on the floor. They will get me to class. Give yourself that goal. Like when my 2 feet hit the ground, I'm doing what I said I was going to do. I'm showing up for myself. I'm putting in the work to my mind, body, and soul, because it is work. That's the bottom line. It is work. You're all amazing for showing up. Take it to the other side. Lift and lower. One thing, actually, I wasn't planning to say this, but I hope you all realize this. I was talking to someone in my fitness group or something, and they're like, oh, you must just be blowing up at VFit through the pandemic. And I always laugh when people say that, because yes, we have gained some amazing teammates. But I'm like, no, it's not all of a sudden that a really hard period hits and people are like, yes, I'm going to put all that effort and time into my health and well-being. Like, it doesn't work that way. It's harder to be doing it when life is hard. So you're amazing. You are showing up, right? You're not in a tough period of life and go, well, I'm going to get up every day and work out and put energy into my body and my mind. Like, you have to get there by discipline. and by continuing to show up and want it more than your excuses. So I say it to you all the time, but I truly mean it. You are incredible for continuing to show up. It is not easy. It is worth it though. Yes, nice, Anne. All right, toes forward. We're going to begin our journey and we're just going to flow this morning. Yes, Lynn, nice. That felt good. My feet are tight this week. We're just going to flow. So you go at your own speed. I wouldn't go too fast, but you can always go slower than me. And we're going to take it down and up. And I want you to think about, as I'm going to kind of tell a story throughout class, a journey of mine, and I don't share it. I share it to kind of light a fire in you and to kind of keep you on course. But I want you to think about something right now in your life that you might be planting. You're all planting something, whether it's a new season of life, raising kids, a lot of teachers in here, grandparents, some shifting careers, shifting paths in life, moving, some overcoming big health obstacles, health journeys. So I want you to think about, and that's why I said with the open heart, let yourself be open for a little bit of reflection, a little bit of like, I almost want you to feel like by the end of this class, you're like pumping yourself up, patting yourself on the back, like, yes, I am doing amazing. I am right where I'm meant to be. This zipper always, I'm stuck in my vest because I didn't zip it right. There we go. 5, 4, nice Pam, look at that light coming through everyone's windows. Those of you had a lot on the my zone, let me get back in there. 3, yes, 2, 1. Okay, right here, stepping it forward. I always want to shout like Elsa, into the unknown, but truly every day is a little bit, that'll be it for my singing, don't worry. And let me know if yesterday there was a weird sound. I hope I got rid of it. I updated Zoom and all that, but all right. So stepping into the unknown, into the uncomfortable. And I shared this week how I've shared many times, I'm part of the larger Todd Durkin mastermind group. There's about 100 of us across the country. And it really, like, it's been a group I've been a part of for a couple of years. Didn't think, I obviously think a lot about it, but I didn't think the way I thought about it this week. 2, 1 more. Okay, hold your right foot out, left foot's up. So settle into the lunge. We're gonna come straight down and up, down and up. And I had this big, okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading Letty's. Oh no, what happened? Letty, yes, do whatever. I even told Valerie, who was here earlier this week going through some knee, like, you can do anything that works for you, team, at any time, because it's just more fun to work out with friends. So never apologize if you have to change out the move. If you want to do weights right now, willpower, that is totally okay. So I was down and up. I'm part of the mastermind group, and just this month we started a new format where he's asked somebody, Todd Durkin, who is someone I've really looked up to a long time, to give a talk in the mastermind group to our peers. And if you ever talk, I don't know why, it's just so much more nerve-wracking to talk to your peers for some reason. 2, 1, hold it down, pulse. And so I, last month they asked you how to submit a proposal with your topic, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I can do it at any time this year except for May, because we're going to Maui in May. And then my other coach writes back, he's like, okay, you're up first. I was like, okay, that's like in 2 weeks, let's do this. And I like a good challenge. Make sure you're getting yourself uncomfortable. I always talk about that lesson. Push yourself. And in order to do that, you need to be surrounded by people that when you want to say, just kidding, backtrack, I take that back, they say, oh, no, you don't, you're doing it, you're doing it. So long story short on this part, I did the talk this week. I was super nervous. I was very well prepared, and I just gave it to God and said, just speak through me. Let me be authentic. Let me be me. Let me be real. 3, but here's where I want the story of the seed. And your seed is different. All of our seeds. We have a lot of different seeds out there. We're planting and have planted. So it took me, hold it up. Woo, beautiful team. Take it back. The shift. It took me back down memory lane all of a sudden. After the presentation on Tuesday, I was kind of just reflecting because I was, one thing, who talked about this at Connect? Like, I want to be more present. I tend to jump from one thing to the next, and I'm really working on, wow, what got me here? Look at my kids, look at what, just being present and like the beauty and amazing things happening in and around you. 2, 1, okay, take that left leg back. One chance, team, we're gonna come up here. Okay, another good virtue, and this was one, is patience. So the story comes, all right, take it in. We're gonna take it to the right, back to center, down. So we're just moving and flowing. Everyone looks good. Nice, Becky. Becky's training now for the pull pedal paddle. She didn't even know is coming. Yes, that's my uncomfortable challenge to you up in Bend, Oregon, that team. Yes, Jamie, I love it. Who else just popped in? Letty, Virio, Becky, Miley, Lenny. Okay, so flashback. Let me say 10 years ago, this is why I talk about seeds being planted. And sometimes they take a long time to grow and bear fruit. Sometimes you don't ever see that, but about 10, 11 years ago is when I got into fitness. And actually looking back, yeah, I hadn't quite turned 30, but I felt really old for some reason. Funny how that is. Now I'm like, no way, because I was getting into this new career when I felt like everybody else got into it when they were 18. Like I felt like the old person getting into fitness, but it felt right. Like I remember this, actually willPower, you guys know, is the very first format I ever taught. And I remember teaching that first class, like I was so nervous, I think I even did throw up. Like it was the nerves beyond nerves, like so nervous. And I remember at the end of the class, just having this feeling like, wow, I know it seems so weird, it's just fitness, but I'm like, this is what I meant to do. Like I feel my soul just so connected. And so that was the beginning of my journey with fitness. All right, come back up, step it on the left. And like anything, some journeys can be slow. I ended up having Emmy about 2 years later, and then came Weston, and then came VFit. And by now I'd been personal training, I'd started programs at the gym. There was this convention called IDEA. Many of you are familiar with the IDEA. They have a huge convention every year. It changes locations between like Las Vegas, San Diego, Orange County. And I've been dreaming of going to this convention. Like it has everybody in the industry. It's just like one of those massive, like tens of thousands of people, every performer. I mean, people like everything, classes, lectures, business, nutrition. It was just like the Disneyland of fitness. All right, head into that lunge. Actually hold that left foot out, arms out. And every year I kept wanting to go and I would get pregnant or I'd be nursing or like I just couldn't get to this darn fitness convention. And I know looking back, there was a reason it wasn't my time to go yet. So flash forward a little bit after having Weston, I started VFit when he was 6 months old. That was probably some sort of post-pregnancy crazy idea of mine. But a good idea, because look at us here today on Super Saturday. 2, 1, whoo, lift. So VFit was about, because Weston was close to 2, because it was the first time I remember I was able to leave Weston and Emmy. So VFit was about 1.5 years old. Weston was 2, Emmy was 4, finally this fitness convention is in Vegas. And I'm like, I can go. And the cards aligned, the stars aligned. I signed up. At this time, I think only Leslie and Chris were training with me. I think Steph P might have been too, but I didn't have anyone to go with. But something I'm like, I'm just gonna go. My husband came, we kind of made a weekend out of it. That's another story. And then, hold it up. Woo. So I'm super excited, nervous. You know, something, it's kind of weird, like you all know that feeling, something you've dreamed of, worked hard for, even a vacation, a big milestone, and all of a sudden it's in front of you and it's kind of like surreal in some ways. So I'm at this convention in miserably hot Las Vegas in the middle of July. And it was so many people. It was like I'm like, why did I want to come to this? What is going on? I'm so out of water. These people know what they're doing. I'm a nobody. Like that negative talk just was like, boom, 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 boom. Going to my lectures, getting my CECs, my education that, you know, y'all need when you have some sort of extra degree, teaching, whatever it may be, law. All right, hold it down. Woo. All right, bring it up. Perfect, balance yourself. I had to sign up for a lot of classes because I had like no continuing education because like I said, I had just been having babies. And so I like needed all 2 years worth of CECs in like one weekend. So I was like going to every boring lecture and all these things. They weren't boring, but you can only retain so much anatomy, physiology. So it was the second or the third day of the convention. And this is where you have to get quiet and you have to listen to your soul and your spirit sometimes. You got to get quiet. I walked into that convention and I was like, I think I was signed up for like anatomy of the foot or something. And I was like, I do not want to do that. I do not want to do that. That doesn't sound right. So I just start wandering the halls. This big convention hall out in Las Vegas. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we've got a minute of double squats here, team. Out and in. And I hear this loud just music playing from this one room. And it just like, it felt energy. And I was like, look at the sign. By now I figured out you can actually do whatever class you wanted to do, even if you weren't signed up, if there was room and what you can mix and match. So I hear it's like 8 in the morning. And that's what I was missing. I'm like, I hadn't been waking up and working out. So I hear this music and I like was just drawn to this one room. And I look at the title and it was like Lifetime Fitness Sampler Class. And at first I let my brain tell me like, this is a big gym putting this on. Like that has nothing to do with VFit. You're here for your CECs. Step away from the class, Rochelle. This is not what you need. And then my spirit walked in and was like, we're taking this class. You need to move your body. And you know what was so cool? The sampler class. So we went through like 6 different formats, yoga, HIIT, some stretching. 2, 1. All right, so take a sip of water if you need it. Nice on the my zones, getting up there. Keep getting up there. Try to be in the 60s and above here in this class. All right, we're taking it to the plie. Down and up. And so I went to this class and it just like reinvigorated my passion for fitness and what everything was about. It was about connection, experience, like having those moments of tingling, right? It was so magical. Like the trainers that were leading the sessions were so passionate. The music was loud. It was just, it refreshed what I needed because I was putting all this pressure to just give my credit and I was not good enough to be there. What was I even doing? That imposter syndrome is real. And actually it was that format, let's go, that inspired, and that's why I say nothing is by chance. It was that very class that actually inspired all of the parties that we have at VFit, all of the sampler parties. So imagine not having those. Like, in fact, we have one next weekend. Next Saturday is our first fundraiser of the year. We only have 2. The next one's in Thanksgiving. but where you get a sampler of trainers and formats. So, perfect. Now I want you to sweep to the front, out, front, out. Looking great, team. Look at everyone. How many of us are here now? 39. I love it, Amanda, Steph. So after this class, it was like 90 minutes. I was like, woo, just how you feel after a workout. Like, you need it. You just feel like you're a new person. So all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm doing what I want, when I want, throwing away my schedule. I'm just gonna let the wind take me through the rest of this convention. And so the next place I landed, again, not by chance, 2, 1, take it out, was in the business side of the convention. So it was all about like business. It's called the Summit. And who other could have been talking at that time than the Todd Durkin. And he just has an energy. He's so real. He's so fiery. He's entangled with the Lelanes, just deep history. Just an amazing person. And I didn't actually even have barely heard of him by this point. And he's like chanting and giving a talk and just like, again, it was so good. And I remember we got this whole team around him. 2, 1. Okay, now you're gonna step back, back, front, front. Perfect. Back. He had this like I call it the dream team. Just you could tell everyone was so kind and so supportive. And they were all very different, but they just jived super well. And I remember looking, again, doubt, fear, imposter syndrome, and being like, wow, there's a lot of mastermind teammates there. I didn't know them yet. I was not anywhere near part of this team. To me, they were like so far ahead of me. And I remember Trina Gray, she's a lady on the team, gave a talk. And I've always loved this concept that no one is ahead of you. I mean, no one's above you. We're all on the track together. And we all might be on different parts of the track, but we're all on this track. So don't tell yourself somebody's above you or somebody's where you can't be. But I was also there by myself. So I was just like, still a little uncomfortable. So they're giving the talk. He's actually, the day he signed my book, anyway, the WOW book, the 52 lessons. And I just kept going the rest of the convention. There was like 2 more days. 2, 1. Okay, now I want you to curtsy, point that foot down. Curtsy, point. All right, don't worry, you only have 6 more minutes of this story. Got to get there. So there's so the rest of the weekend, I'm just like, you know what? I want to go to these talks. I want to be around these people. I just kept immersing myself with this group, and they still had no idea who I was, which was fine. And there was a session, and this like brings me chills, and I keep trying to find my notebook. Now take it over. Where he asked, "Where do you see yourself in 1 year?" And I vividly remember writing down, I want to build a strong team. I want to make an impact in the world. And I don't ever want to come to an event like this by myself again. And sure enough, over that next year, brought on Maria, Christine, who else came to the team that year? Steph P. Like it's crazy when you put something out there. And that's what I say about manifesting, believing. All right, now put these together. So over that, Sherry came, or Sherry might have started right before I went to that convention. So all of a sudden, this beautiful dream team started being built at VFit. And the next year, the convention was in San Diego. And a bunch of us went. Cece was there, Sherry. It was amazing. And still wasn't part of this mastermind group. Oh, sorry, now I'm putting it together. Still was going to their talks. I bring the team. I'm like, you gotta check out this Todd Durkin group. Like, they're so authentic and they care. And we would go to their workouts and their talks. Fast forward 1 more year. So now here I am, like 6, 7 years into my fitness journey. 2, 1, bring it up. Other side, down and up. And the convention is in Anaheim this year. This was 2 or 3 years ago. Sarah, we might, Lauren's teaching Super Bowl Sunday, so we might make her class into the Super Bowl party. I'll let you know. Oh, thank you, Miriam. Manifest your word. Good, telling yourself something. So, Steph G, Christine, Maria, and I signed up for his one-day impact. I still have this. Never know what one, it's called Ignite. This was June 26, 2019. One day, I actually had my mother-in-law there because I was now had Kinley and was nursing another baby. But I said, that's not gonna keep me from this convention anymore. I'm gonna now bring my mother-in-law, which was awesome. Okay, bring it down, bring it up. This one day, which I believe was a culmination of the years of planting before, changed our lives. It's what allowed Steph G to walk away from her job at Rutgers that she was miserable with. We all made massive shifts after this day. And sometimes your shifts take you on different journeys. All right, let's put it together. And then after that, just long story short, I did end up joining the mastermind. I joined at the main level. And then the year after, I went to the retreat in San Diego and ended up really up-leveling my investment, joining a small team, having a personal coach, and being part of the team. And like, what I bring this back to is when I gave this talk on this Tuesday, and I was telling people, oh, I'm gonna give this talk. Everyone was so supportive. They were like, that's what you're meant to do. You're so good at it. It's what you do all the time. 3. And it was, yes, that is my natural wheelhouse now, but it was so much bigger than that because I had imposter syndrome. I had fear. I had doubt. I have every limiting belief that everybody's had along their journey, right? But I kept pushing through those and surrounding myself with people who believed in my dream and my mission, in each other. 2, 1, okay, take it to the right side. Family, I look at my dad here, like always my top fan. The dream team, the trainers, every single member, you guys are the most amazing. I tell you that all the time because you become true friends. Like the power of who you are surrounded by and what you plant is so important. Is so important. And right now, we have this season. It's a long one. It keeps getting longer, but it's for a reason of planting. And sometimes maybe something you did 10 years ago, 8 years ago, is starting to bear some beautiful fruit. Maybe you're seeing a breakthrough in your kids or your school or someone you touched years and years ago. 3, 2, 1, other side. Maybe your journey is hard and long right now and you're like, I can't see the finish line. Guess what? Just look at the next step. Look at the next step because when I gave that talk on Tuesday, I received, and I didn't do it for this, but really like amazing praise from my peers and my team in the mastermind. These are people 4 years ago that I thought were better than me, right? That I made this story in my head that I would never or not anytime soon be at that level. And that's a limiting belief that everybody needs to start to let go of. All right, here we go. Last 30 seconds. So right now, light a spark, plant a seed, and then obviously hand it over to faith. Has a lot to do with things, but also you have to nurture it. You have to water it. You have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to grow and learn and be okay making mistakes. And you have to have the right people around you. All right? So big lessons today. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. Exactly 30 minutes. Whew, good stuff. Look at those milestones. Nice numbers, everyone. Turn the toes out. And I just wanted to share, because this was like, wow, I'm sure there's something everybody can look back and find those like pivotal moments, those fork in the road moments, those opportunities. I love Amanda shared and connect, and I know I can say because she would share publicly. When we say no to something, maybe that opens the door to say yes to something new. Something, maybe it's your season to turn, like Amanda talked about, she was serving on a committee for her son's football for so long. And she felt like she had to keep doing it because no one else would step up. And then finally, another teammate said, sometimes we need to let go so somebody else steps in and steps up, and then we find a different role somewhere else. And now she's working on her daughter's softball team. So very, very interesting. The door is closing and opening. Big inhale. Oh, big exhale. All right, team. Beautiful. Yes. I love it. Very, I feel that. Oh, thank you, Letty. I didn't get to, I don't know if I've ever told that whole full story, but you got it here live. You're all awesome. I'll see a lot of you in Sculpt. I would laugh. I look at Becky Rosen and I just am on for our swim race in August. We're training. All right. Have a good Saturday. If I don't see you, if not, Sculpt. And yes, next Saturday, I forgot to say, next Saturday is Share the Love fundraiser. So far, I think 5 of us can do it. And the members are going to vote. We're going to send out a survey and you're going to tell us what to teach over that hour. So it could either be something you lovely teach or something that really makes us uncomfortable. Yes, I love that, Cameron. Do that. It will happen. So yes, next Saturday will not be classic willpower. It'll be the Share the Love. I don't know what I'll be teaching. You guys will decide that. So I'll find out next Saturday. Yes, by Lori, by Krista, by Cameron, by Dad. I'll see you guys in a second at Sculpt. Good job, Tina.